the topic is renal protection, how glutathione supports kidney function. So let us first revise our knowledge of kidney function. Basically, the main function of the kidneys is excretory in nature, meaning it gets rid of the waste from body, but it also has many other functions, like regulating the water body, the electrolytes, and some other stuff. At the same time, it also secretes important hormones. So let's go into more detail. So I'll just show on the left side is the schematic representation. On the right side is the more to what the kidney actually looks like. So you can have some idea of what's going on, right? The filtration of the blood that keeps the water and most of the stuff that are going to be excreted. But many stuff are also need to be reabsorbed. So there is filtration, there is reabsorption, and then whatever is not reabsorbed, there will be excreted out. At the same time, the kidneys secrete important hormones that is taken by the blood to other organs. So these are some important functions of the kidney: regulation of inorganic ions, regulation of water balance and osmolality. That is how concentrated the water is. Excretion of nitrogenous waste, urea and creatinine, excretion of foreign chemicals, including the drugs that we take, pollutants, etc. Regulation of pH and carbonic acid, and synthesis of renin, synthesis of erythropoietin, activation of vitamin D3, and gluconeogenesis, right? Manufacture of glucose, production of glucose. Of course, the main organ that does gluconeogenesis, manufacturing glucose, is the liver, right? The glucose is broken down from glycogen. All right, so the previous slide mentioned hormones, renin and erythropoietin, but prostaglandins, some prostaglandins are also produced by the kidneys, and vitamin D3 is activated here. Now, the kidney converts vitamin D3 to the active form, which is calcitriol. Right, that's for the long name there, but just remember it's calcitriol. Some important functions of the hormones secreted by kidneys. We have erythropoietin, which is the main hormone stimulating the production of the red blood cells, erythrocyte. Then at the bottom, you have thrombopoietin, the hormone that stimulates production of the megakaryocyte, which then turn into platelets. Right, then you have calcitriol from the activation of vitamin D3. So note that vitamin D3, therefore, is not just a vitamin because it's a precursor to hormone. So most of us regard vitamin D3. Anyway, calcitriol is a form of vitamin D3 as a hormone also. So apart from regulating calcium and phosphate absorption, vitamin D3 has many functions in the body as a hormone, affecting the brain, affecting the lungs, affecting the heart, and many other organs. And then you have renin, which activates the renin-angiotensin system, which has a big role in the regulation of our blood pressure. So what do all this then do to the whole body, to the rest of the body? By regulating the water, it ensures that there is not too much or too little water in the body. by regulating the blood pressure, make sure that the pressure isn't too high or too low. By getting rid of waste like urea, uric acid, toxins, and other waste, then it keeps the body from being flooded by this waste and poisoned by this waste. Through the activation of vitamin D and regulation of calcium and phosphate, then the kidney has a role in our bone health. The regulation of the acid-base balance makes sure that the body isn't too acidic or too alkaline, which is very important. You know, the very narrow range of acidity or pH that the body can operate in a healthy and optimum fashion. And then by maintaining a balance of electrolytes like potassium, sodium, calcium, heart function is affected. Actually, not just the heart, also the muscles also depend on this electrolyte. And of course, the brain also depends on electrolytes. And by, as mentioned earlier on, by releasing erythropoietin, which stimulates the bone marrow to make red blood cells, therefore it has a big role in our blood production. And so you can see the health of the kidney impacts many other organs, and like all the other organs in the body, none of them work independently without affecting the others or without being affected by the others. That's how the body works, right? All the organs in our body are a team, and the kidney is a very important member of the team. Okay. Fortunately, you have two kidneys. You cannot do without kidneys. You can do without one kidney, but we cannot do without two kidneys. But fortunately, with modern science, you have the dialysis machines. So even if you don't, your kidneys are not functioning at all, sorry, you can still survive by having the dialysis machines. Oh, you have to excuse me if I get dry throat and I have to cough once in a while because it's once a month and I cannot drink water. Every time I speak, my throat gets dry. Now we move to the role of glutathione in kidneys. The kidneys are highly dependent on an adequate supply of glutathione to maintain normal function. And this is, sorry, the spelling, mainly due to high rates of aerobic metabolism, particularly in the proximal tubules, right? That means the earlier part of the or the functioning unit of the urine tube. Okay. Additionally, the kidneys are potentially exposed to high concentrations of oxidants and reactive molecules, and the kidney cellular, the renal or kidney cellular concentrations of glutathione are maintained by both intracellular synthesis and transport from outside the cell. Meaning, in general, the production of glutathione by the kidney cells is not sufficient for its requirement. Therefore, it has to rely on the glutathione produced elsewhere, especially the liver, right? Then it takes this from the blood to supplement. The mitochondrial glutathione pool is derived from the cytoplasmic glutathione, and this I have mentioned earlier on in previous lectures, that the manufacture or the synthesis of glutathione is in the cytoplasm and then transported into the mitochondria. So the mitochondria has a high concentration of glutathione for its energy production, but it has to get the glutathione from the cytoplasm. And the kidneys, being a very active organ, so the cells, the mitochondria in the kidney cells require a lot of glutathione. So maintenance of the mitochondrial glutathione pool is critical for cellular and mitochondrial redox homeostasis, and is important in determining susceptibility to chemically induced injury and apoptosis. Apoptosis is cell suicide. Yeah, the cells, the body the cells undergo a programmed suicide or cell death when it is damaged to prevent it from becoming cancerous. Okay, so once damage is significant, and if the programming is still there, then it commits suicides, rather than allow the damage that will possibly turn it into cancer cells. What about in acute injury? Glutathione effectively protects against acute as well as chronic kidney injury in lab studies and as measured by several markers of kidney function. Glutathione combined with TCM medicine, this herbal formulation called Chuan Huang Fang, gave even better results with no adverse effects. This is interesting. And the two work by preventing oxidative stress and inflammation. This Chuan Huang Fang is a Chinese herbal formulation synthesized by a professor in Shanghai for the treatment of acute and chronic kidney disease. So they decided to see what happens if combined with glutathione. Glutathione depletion in acute kidney injury contributes to oxidative stress and liver dysfunction. See, earlier on I mentioned that kidney health affects other function, other organs, and other organs affect your kidney health. So here, studies have shown that depletion of kidney glutathione due to acute kidney injury ultimately will affect liver function. Oxidative stress and renal disease. Oxidative stress resulting from an imbalance between pro-oxidant and antioxidant systems in favor of the former, meaning there's excess pro-oxidants, largely contributes to the immune system dysregulation and complications observed in end-stage renal disease. All right, so you have end-stage renal disease. Not only you have problems of accumulation of toxins, you have problem with water excretion and water regulation. Therefore, you have to restrict your water intake. And then you have reduced production of those important hormones, right? So chronic kidney disease patient always, without fail, have anemia. And studies show also the immune system is also impaired, right? And plus many other problems. When it comes to oxidative stress, chronic renal disease itself also induces a state of oxidative stress long before the end stage renal disease, and worsens with renal failure progression. So, see, this is a vicious cycle. Oxidative stress causes kidney disease, and kidney disease causes more oxidative stress. So because of this, anyone with kidney disease should start antioxidant therapy early. And of all these antioxidants, of course, the glutathione is the most important. And studies show that the glutathione system, that is, the glutathione, including its enzymes, is severely impaired by dialysis pull-up, right? So end-stage renal disease, you have to go on dialysis to get rid of the waste. But already the kidney disease, the severe kidney disease, already reduces the glutathione levels. Our studies have shown those on dialysis are even worse. Okay? Patients on dialysis have lower glutathione than non-dialysis patients of equal stage, right? Equal end stage. Right? You only go dialysis if you are stage 5. So the administration of a cysteine prodrug, studies shows that administration of a cysteine prodrug, that is a glutathione precursor, resulted in a significant rise in whole blood glutathione levels at day 7 and 14 compared with baseline, in contrast to the placebo group. Right? In these studies, they actually used NAC. NAC has been available for for many years, and it is off patent, so it's readily available for researchers. So, but the message is, by giving taking glutathione precursors, then it is possible to raise glutathione levels in these patients on dialysis who are severely depleted of glutathione. Interestingly, in these dialysis patients, when they measured the total antioxidant capacity, actually the total antioxidant capacity is increased compared to normal patients. However, because of the depletion of glutathione, the net result is still oxidative stress. You see, that means even if you have an increase in other antioxidants, it is not enough to counter the deficit of antioxidant power caused by the depletion of glutathione, since glutathione is the key antioxidant. So its depletion still results in net oxidative stress despite the increase of total antioxidant capacity in the plasma. So this condition of the depletion of glutathione may increase the risk of developing cardiovascular and other diseases. As I mentioned, liver disease later on in patients with end-stage renal disease. So it's very crucial. Yeah, the depletion of glutathione, despite the increase of other antioxidants, results in net oxidative stress and results in increased risk of damage and disease to many other organs. Glutathione protects the kidneys from the toxins that are sent there for excretion. Right? We know from the function of glutathione, it is a major detoxifying agent for the body. Right? So detoxification is done. But if the toxins are not detoxified, then they are rendered water soluble so that they can be sent to the kidneys for excretion. Right? So the kidneys has two effects on these toxins. Number one, all right, it gets rid of the toxins that are now rendered water soluble. Number two, it also does some detoxification here, even though the main detoxification center is the liver. Many medicines and drugs are excreted via the kidneys, and their high concentration would otherwise harm the kidneys unless you have sufficient glutathione. Okay. So, in conclusion, you need glutathione to maintain healthy kidneys and to protect the kidneys from kidney disease, especially if you are here in Malaysia, because kidney disease incidence and prevalence are high here in Malaysia. You compare the global prevalence of chronic kidney disease ranges from 11 to 13%. Right? The most recent population-based study reported in 2018, that was 6 years ago. I have to find more later statistics. But anyway, 6 years ago, our level was already 15.48%, whereas in 2013, it was only 9.07%. So as you can see, a big jump, 2013 to 2018, the 5 years jump from 9.07% to 15.48%. Okay, and in 2013, only 0.08% have had stage 5 chronic kidney disease or end-stage renal disease, whereas in 2018, it has jumped to 0.33%. That is fourfold rise. Okay, so there was less than double increase of the prevalence from 9.07 to 15.48, but there was a fourfold increase in stage because of the 0.33 included stage 4 and 5, whereas 0.08 was only stage 5. But still, we expect that to be at least double. Okay, So that is the message for Malaysian, especially if you're diabetics, because in Malaysia, the number one cause of kidney disease is diabetes. Okay, but unfortunately, even the non-diabetic kidney disease is also relatively high compared to other countries. We do not know the reason, but I believe the water quality can be one factor. And it is more so if you live in Kelantan, because you get free teh tarik from the river. You can drink the teh tarik directly from the river. Okay, that is all I have to share today. I won't go into details about the glutathione and what happens as we age, because it has been repeated many times. Once in a while, I will include that in my talks, because I think um, um, I can spend more time explaining about the diseases and the organs problem. So, okay, over to you, Joel.